Hello and welcome back to the Seleucid campaign. Yes, this is the heir of Carthage, and we have retaken Carthage via Hannibal. And speaking of Hannibal, he's going to be on his way over to Sicily for some old-time revenge there. Carthage historically did terrible in Sicily, and I mean terrible. So if Hannibal can right that wrong, it would be a big win. Look at this. Syracuse has dispatched a fleet of transport ships to Lepsus, and I am currently busy at Garama. It looks like the enemy is about to basically give in here, but I'm going to go ahead and take this settlement. As much as I hate to have to fight this, I really need to take it now and get ready to bolt back to Lepsus, where we're going to have an invading army on our hands. So let's go ahead and start off this episode by assaulting the 4th Legion, who is starving to death behind the walls of Garama, and the Griffin's Grace will get the pleasure of destroying the Romans today. We had a lot of great comments on the last episode. I went through and responded to a handful of them as best I could. I can't get to all of them at the moment. I'm just too busy to do so, but I really appreciate the support you all throw into that. It does make a huge difference, so thank you very much. And there was a lot of comments about things that you all would like to see me do in the next historical Total War campaign that I play, and I will be looking at those comments and trying to kind of take weight of it and understand. I guess just make sure I get a good feel together for everything that you all would want to see. Trying to think how we want to handle this. I wish I could have more siege towers. It gives me the ladders automatically. I don't want the ladders. I want siege towers. So I'm a little bit irritated at the way that it does that. It's not ideal. And I'll just put another siege tower.
Melee troops awaiting orders. Melee infantry ready.
Put this unit back up here. I'm going to need my archers to give me some cover fire against anything on the walls, and if I have to, I can also bring my Thurio spears up to provide some cover fire. But I'm gonna all-off assault the walls right here. Now, the thing that worries me a little bit is that my Thorax swordsmen really aren't particularly better in many ways. They've been upgraded, which will help a lot, but in many ways, they're not really any better than a bunch of these pre-Marian Roman units that are going to be present in this battle. Beg for the mercy of slavery. There are Numidian javelin men on the walls. These are mercenaries. Levies. These are all javelin men on the walls, which honestly is a bit dangerous, so I'm going to push my archers up and put some heavy archer fire down on the walls in order to try and soften up the javelins a little prior to my ladders being in range. Otherwise, I think we're in pretty good shape. All my siege equipment is moving in. Some of you folks wanted more close-ups, so I'll get you some close-ups here as this siege battle unfolds. Here are my Persian archers beginning the assault process by flinging arrows high up onto the walls, where they're going to be finding their levy targets and Numidian javelinmen targets here. I want to kill as many of these units as we can. They do pose a fairly significant threat to my swordsmen who are approaching. So it'll be worth the ammo spent. We're going to take some casualties to the tower fire, most likely. But like I said, that'll be well worth it. Take a look inside the city. I don't know where we'll find all of the Roman forces. Looks like the AI is kind of giving up on protecting the walls, which is honestly good for me. I really didn't want to fight a whole bunch of Hastati or legionaries on the walls. Speaking of legionaries, I just saw some Hastati now coming to garrison the walls. I'm going to let my archers continue their fire. We push back all the levies. I'm going to fast forward for a moment. Let my extremely slow siege equipment slowly make its ways to the walls. I've now got eyes on some of the Roman troops up on the walls. One of my units took a ton of damage here. Did we take a pillow volley? Can't imagine what else would have caused us that kind of damage that quickly. I cannot afford to lose thorax swords units in combat, so if this unit gets damaged up pretty bad, which it is, I'll probably pull it back. Let my archers keep firing for the moment. They're doing quite well. Once the ladder reaches the wall, I'll probably pull this unit back.
Melee troops. Advance at speed.
Pull that unit back. I've got another one coming forward to climb the ladder. The rest of my units didn't take near as much damage getting into position, though they might. They're getting all bunched up and taking javelin fire off the walls now.
Ready and waiting.
You know, just take your time getting on that ladder. No rush.
Melee infantry.
I don't know what's going on with this unit, but they won't climb the ladder, so I'm gonna have to give them new orders. There's something messed up with their...
Swords. Orders understood. Fire.
There's... What the heck? I can't use the ladder because the Romans came out... CA?
Engage.
CA, please? What is this? I can't use either one of these ladders. I don't know what's going on.
Melee infantry ready. Break the lines.
I really don't know what's going on. I can't use either one of these ladders.
Ready and waiting. Move out. At your service. Yes, Commander.
I did get some troops up the ladders. Unfortunately for me, I've taken some pretty stiff casualties on some of those troops as well. Got more troops to get ready. Try and start burning the gates down. You all gonna participate? Alright, so I've got a fair number of thorax swords on the walls, not as many as I wanted to or should have. And I cannot send any more reinforcements up the ladder. For some reason. So, it's good to know. Game's just gonna totally glitch out on me. I am gonna lose a thorax sword unit here. I think it will be re-recruitable in the province of Africa, though, with what I have, but it's still frustrating.
At your service.
Nonetheless, we're winning the fight on the walls.
The men are wavering.
Fairly handy fashion.
Back, men. Back.
Got my Thurio spears up here. And we are dishing the Romans some pretty significant pain. Between my archers and javelins, we're putting a lot of missile fire up onto the walls.
At your command.
And the gatehouse is nearly on fire.
Ready for
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Thorax swordsman.
Alright, the gatehouse is on fire. I'm gonna take a little bit easy on the Javelin Day celebration there. Look at all the javelins laying on the ground there.
Thorax swordsman.
I can't use the siege towers either. I've never seen this glitch before where I can't reuse any of the siege equipment.
Attack the
Maybe they'll do it automatically if I just give them an order, I guess. Maybe that's the ticket. I don't know what the case is. I'm gonna go ahead and actually... No. Alright, well, you can't stop a movement order once you've given it to him up the ladders. That's frustrating. Alright. Well, I've got a couple more sword units headed up the ladder. Gonna try and mow through the rest of these legionaries. And I've got infantry pushing through the gates. It's gonna be coming into some pretty stiff resistance. Numbers-wise, it's kind of crappy units for the most part, though. But crappy Roman units in these sieges are significantly different than crappy Eastern units in these sieges. I guess you can't click the siege equipment, you just have to give your unit an order and hope that they choose the right one. Huh. Not a bug, it's a feature then. Well, we're going to lose a couple of units here, which is definitely frustrating. I don't remember telling you to come off the walls, but I guess go ahead. Trying to give my units some orders to get down off the walls and come fight. Gotta fight our way through the gatehouse. We're kind of breaking our way in by weight of numbers, but like I said, some of the Roman infantry, despite being just hastati and stuff, is still pretty decent compared to, say, Thurios spears. And thorax swords, and my thorax swords are probably better than the Roman units here, but not a ton better. And then you gotta account for the difficulty settings as well.
We have captured a tower.
At the double. Ready and waiting. Thorax swordsman. We wait your command.
Thurios spears! Spearmen, ready for
Thorax swordsman.
We need to actually, one of the mistakes that I've made here, I need to take everybody out of formation attack so they'll spread out and hopefully get engaged better rather than trying to stay in formation. There we go. Gonna spread this unit out, get them some more kills. Well, I guess I'm gonna sit on my infantry. Or my cavalry, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and charge in. We've got to break this resistance here. Taking way more losses here than I would have liked to, but I'm not totally surprised. Kind of expected it, to be honest. Fighting Roman infantry in a siege is less than advisable, unless you've come with some very, very good infantry of your own. And in kind of compact spaces where charge bonuses don't matter as much, honestly, Roman infantry is probably the best in the game. The circumstances in which Roman infantry falters to, say, like heavy barbarian swordsmen and stuff are going to be on the open field where the charge bonus is applied. Otherwise, Roman infantry probably really is the best in the game, and understandably so. They were historically extremely effective. Try and run back out here with some of my units and finish the envelopment. Yeah, now we have a complete envelopment. So the Romans defending the gates. Now totally surrounded. And they have routed. I believe Yeah, the Romans have this Triarii unit still over here. Trying to absolutely mob these routers, but let's get through here.
Quickly now! Riders, advance! Melee troops awaiting orders. At speed!
I'm gonna move over here and face this Triarii unit.
Polak swordsman! Swords! Pick your targets, men!
Spear infantry, ready!
I'm gonna try and discharge as many remaining javelins as I have into that Triarii unit. It's a pretty tough melee unit. Like to soften them up a little prior to combat. You all see a bit of a Javelin Day celebration here. I think they got the point. How do you like that lame jokes? Look at how many javelins that dude's got poking through his shield.
The enemy general.
Yeah, the enemy general is dead. Alright, so in total we lost one thorax sword in its entirety. Well, not ideal, but expected. The thorax swarms actually performed very well. They definitely performed very well.
Ready for battle!
Alright, so now I've taken Garama. Unfortunately for me, there's very little here that I can do. Cydamus is going to have a Soros barracks. Change that over to a muster field. I really want to tear that down because I'm going to have to rebuild it.
At your command.
Alright, hopefully we get some pretty quick replenishment on this army. It looks like we will. Because we're going to have to head north and cut off the incoming Syracusans that are going to attack Lepsis. Lepsis is defended. I'd hope to see more pikemen here, but we only got one pikeman. So it's unlikely that Lepsis will be able to hold against the sizable army of Syracusans there. I'm going to continue marching this army west. It may be needed. And then at Antioch, we've still got a number of turns before I get all of the buildings that I want to finish refitting our king's army. Pontus has a small carve out here. They're not particularly large, but they are there. We'd finish capturing. Looks like we got some skill points to hand out here. This is actually an army tradition. Let's do Unrelenting Force. I like that army tradition. Between that and the siege thing, it's probably the most handy. Heralds of Thanos are sitting at my request. The Heralds of Triton show that they have all their movement points. But I'm kind of purposefully sitting back here. I mean, I'll move forward just a little. Like, I want to stay within reinforcing range of Carthage. What's a Thanos Pericles Pride? These guys are kind of on standing guard duty over here. I don't have any money for any political situations right now, so might as well forget that. And if you all are wondering what it is that we could talk about today, in the comments, I forgot to get to this earlier because we got started early with the battle, but I was thinking a fun conversation might be, what is something that you feel like is absolutely necessary, like a feature, mechanic, something that's absolutely necessary in a future historical Total War game in order to help them get on to parity with the fantasy games in terms of replayability. Okay? So in my opinion, Now, of course, I very much like the fantasy games, and that's not going to change. But I also very much like the historical games, and I'd like to see the historical games, like I said, get on better parity with the fantasy games in terms of replayability. So one of the reasons why, for instance, I didn't go get interested in playing all the factions in Rome 2 is because they're just not different enough in terms of the way they play in a campaign. They're just not different enough. Now, let's see, if they come off as ships, that means that none of their cavalry is going to be cavalry. I just don't think we have the means to win this, and I don't really feel like spending the time with it at the moment. But yeah, so for me, the big feature that they're going to need is the faction mechanics. So we've already seen videos from Warhammer 3 detailing out some very in-depth faction mechanics. And then in Warhammer 2, we have very, very different faction mechanics from one to the next. We've had things like the Skaven Workshop, Grom's, restaurant, basically, where you cook the food, Eltharion's jail, where you put people in jail. We've had all these different mechanics and different things they add, which to me, and then the fact, like, for instance, greenskins in Warhammer, they play extremely aggressive, and other factions, like dwarves, are a little more defensive. Some, like there's a ton of replayability in that game because every faction is just so different than the next in terms of the way that they play, that it creates a reason for me to come back and keep revisiting. Is there no way to march anywhere where I'm not going to end up full of desert attrition out here? There's no road that goes north to Lepsis, so that's actually very irritating. This is a big mistake here. The Syracusans basically just took off and left a transport fleet out here. I think I'm gonna... It's risky. Why is it not giving me hardly any movement with my fleet? I think I'm gonna take Hannibal's army and move separately back to Carthago, and then on down to Thapsus.
I want hourly patrols.
Try and block the Syracusans from getting in there. There's an actual fleet there, but it's out of reinforcement range of Agamemnon's Pride, which is the transport fleet. There's a Roman fleet to my north. We got a lot going on here. I'm not going to be able to react to the taking of Lepsis as quickly as I would have liked. So I'm just going to march west as quickly as I can with the Sons of Rhea here. And that way I'll have another army to cut off anything else that the Syracusans are planning on doing. Got some work I got to do at Garama here. We don't have the tech tree for that, so I'm going to have to mark it for dismantling. And then let's get... I think it's good to have recruitment available in all these places. We'll probably want consecrated ground here because we don't have the Hellenic influence. Well, I feel like we should attack Agamemnon's Pride, would be our best bet. Unfortunately for me, it'll probably cause a lot of losses from an auto-resolve standpoint. Well, no it won't. If I fight this manually, which trust me, I want to, we're going to end up taking a bunch of losses here. Whereas if I auto-resolve it, it's going to be extremely kind to me and get rid of this whole giant army. And this was a decent Syracusan army. It had a number of pikes, some hoplites, Campanian cavalry, which I can't wait to get some of myself, possibly. I love some Campanian cavalry. It's probably one of my favorite units in the game. Heavy sword and shield melee cavalry. I'm going to take the cash off releasing these guys. And like I said, this is a fleet here, an actual fleet from Syracuse. They're in a forced row stance. They may get away from me there. Yeah, they can move farther than I can at the moment. Could get hit double by that right there, so I'm gonna I'm gonna instead just kind of hunt down the remnants of this army and drown them in the sea. So that's going to get rid of Agamemnon's pride. What a pride it was.
Yes.
I wonder if I can... Yep, I can go into row stance and hit the dock here and start replenishing. Okay, that should be good. So we're getting a lot more pushback and a lot faster than I thought we would from Syracuse. And we've got the Roman First Legion here, and that's exciting. That's good. I want the pushback. I want the fight. Like I said, I'm gonna get my agent away from all this over here. I don't want to uncover the Romans because it takes away their auto-resolve buffs. So I want to put their settlements up here in the north behind my fog of war. So this is actually really bad that Ariminum is outside of my fog of war. It's like the Romans are raising more troops, because it's going to give the barbarians an advantage for that being the case. I was headed towards Italy with this agent, but instead I think I'm going to march north, like all the way up here to the coast with the Iceni, gather more information. The Nori control a decent chunk of territory back here. Griffin's Grace. So what do I do with this army? I need to get to the Syracusans as quick as possible. But I think if I enter an encamp stance... So it does help with replenishment. Doesn't say anything about disabling attrition. But one would assume that it would, hopefully.
Waiting for more orders.
It does disable no, it does not disable attrition. I don't see the like little head thing above them at this point though.
Ready for orders.
Hang on, wait. Now it shows them replenishing. Okay, good. All right. Guess that was just kind of a glitch whenever it had been on there previously. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. So Athena's Faithful was kind of on guard duty here in the Caucasus, and the defenders of Olympus had returned to temporarily put an end. Oh, whoops. Trespass the Pontians here. I wonder if they are interested in being allies now that I've trespassed them. They're a fellow...
Be welcome, and may Hermes bless your words with...
Got a trade agreement with them.
For I have other business today.
To pay them quite a lot of money. I'd prefer not to fight them right now. A fellow Hellenic.
I can agree to this.
See if we can improve our relations with them.
Insipid to drink and seal the bargain.
Alright, speaking of improving relations. It's kind of a risk, but let's try it. I'm gonna send this guy on a mission to Pontus. Alright, let's go through our many settlements and look for patchy factories. We have so many settlements and we need even more cash. Wow, that is so many temples of Poseidon here. Whatever, I mean, it's not really hurting anything. Things are fine over here for the time being. Galatia, Cappadocia... Magna. Said, I think kind of the important thing here is that we're not creating any slums. That's my main goal. Don't make the slums. And it looks like that we are not. So that being the case, I'm going to come back and take a look at Africa. Because this is one of my newly held provinces here. Either fishing or trade. I got so much food. I think I'm gonna just go with harbor. It doesn't take up that much food. Want to improve to the skirmisher camp here too. I need to retake Lepsis because I had a barracks that I was building. And I'm gonna need to re-recruit some thorax swordsmen. Let's see what happens on this one. Since Rome didn't do any attacks, we'll have to wait and see what Syracuse is up to. I don't know if they moved the army that took Lepsis or not. It didn't show anything on camera, but I don't guess that means that they didn't move it for certain. Okay, we got a level 10 hero. Oracle of Delphi.
Ready for orders.
Guys into different stance there.
At your command. Your orders. We hunger for battle.
I'm gonna need the larger dry dock here in case I need to build more fleets.
Ready for orders.
Standard march. We won't be taking attrition now that we get across the desert.
Is that all?
We're not replenishing, but we're also not taking attrition. Don't know where that Syracusan army went. It must have gone west? Wonder if they're making for the road to Cydamus because it's the unguarded. That would be a typical AI move. I think I'm just gonna hit the fleet,
Hard on the oars,
move
you
north,
Your next command.
get ready to make the crossing to Sicily because I have reinforcements headed in Africa. They're gonna quickly arrive on station. Our income just shot up a lot. That's good. Let's quit trespassing the
Get to it, men.
trespassing pawns. We've got a lot of unseasonal conditions. Arcosia, Ontocaspia, Africa, extreme drought, Nabatea, Carmina. Okay, so a lot of weather conditions going on. We're 3 turns from the Royal Barracks. We're 1 turn from the mercenary camp, where we're going to have the Syrian heavy archers. Not to say auxiliary, but they're not auxiliary units. So, leaves me with a fair bit of cash. Don't really need to spend it on politics at the moment. Did we get a message on what happened with our Asimones or trespassing? Not really worried about it. Subversion. Did we hear anything about our political outcome there? Yeah, here. Accompanied by a famous bard, increase public order in all your provinces. Okay, well, I mean, at least we didn't make Pontus hate us more, so there's that. Try another mission to Pontus. Plus, it'll make that guy happy. Take our spy. Want to get ready to scout. Another Roman legion being raised there, the 2nd Legion. I need to get an army to Hellas. I think that's what I'll do with this army. I'll just kind of march them and try and sail over. I don't have a fleet to escort these guys. Some of you didn't want me to replace my mercenary veteran hoplites, but we're going to pretend, we're going to disband them, and we're going to kind of pretend that, you know, they did their service, they proved their value. The king, he was so approving of them and so thankful for their service that he granted them land and titles and let them retire and become citizens of his empire. So that's what we're going to pretend with them. that that is what's going to be taking place. Put Pericles' Pride right up here and just kind of let these guys know, hey, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Saba. See your units standing right on my borders. I got eyes on. Alright, well, we need to build some stuff. Let's kind of start off. I spent a bunch of money in Syria making upgrades recently, so probably no need to do further upgrades there at the moment. Nabatea is looking pretty good, barring us finishing some more research to upgrade other things. Percent from all wealth sources. Nice to have the extra growth. Go ahead and spend some money here. It's not going to be insane, but there we go. We'll just spend some of our cash there in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, however we want to say it. So Athena's faithful is kind of just on guard duty. I'm going to move up closer to the Pontic border, just in case those guys betray me. Heralds of Thanos are waiting. Our level 10 agent. Let's see. Finish this one. So he is very, very zealous. And I believe it's time for another turn end here. Is that the Boii we just saw up north? I think it was. That Roman legion headed back north. Wonder if they're having to deal with their northern border. They get a huge bonus to their auto-resolve, though, whenever I'm not... Yep, they did go to Cydamus. Unfortunate for me. These guys are going to be behind me. I do have several pike units here. They have mercenary hoplites, not mercenary veterans. I mean, it's not wildly likely that we can set up, because they do have a lot of good units. I mean, it's possible we could set up in a corner and maybe win here. They have a lot of javelins. You have some cavalry, though, to go get them. Let's see what we can do. It depends on the map. If the map has the right location, we might be able to win. If this map isn't set up properly, then we have no chance. There is a capture point. It's not a victory point, just a capture point. AI is definitely going to want to go after said capture point. I've got to have my back to a wall wherever I defend. Well, I don't... I mean, definitely a place where I could defend myself entirely would be to set up in one of these corridors, and I could have pikes in the front and the back.
Ready for orders.
Honestly, wouldn't hurt to have 3 pike units right up front, though. Very thick, blocky formation. And just try and guard the rear. The remainder... My slingers kind of get an angle out here.
Citizen cavalry.
Okay, I gotta figure out... deploy the cavalry. We want our cavalry to start off hidden, so I'm gonna put them back here, and then I'm gonna try and run outside the settlement. Put some plebs here.
Hillmen, hold position.
Very important that all my units stay in guard mode. I've gotta try to defend my pikes from enemy javelins. Kind of thinking about deploying a little further back in here so that the javelins can't range me. They have to come up closer and give my slingers a better corridor to fire in here. I think that should work.
Pikemen! Pike phalanx!
You see that nonsense that happened right there? Into phalanx and it like knocked all my units out of position. Yeah, it's not okay. We've got to have our units perfectly side by side.
Pikes! We await your command. Pike infantry, at your command.
There we go. Alright.
Slinger! Melee infantry. Slinger!
Slingers a little bit of space here.
Guard!
Alright, let's see if we can do it. Start the battle. I'm gonna fast forward for quite a bit. I'm gonna run these cavalry out over here. I mean, we definitely have a very strong front if we can keep it safe from javelins. There are some Tarentine cavalry that are going to require our attention.
Awaiting orders.
I'm going to not fire at will with my slingers
As you wish.
so that I can target the appropriate units. Because otherwise, my pikes will mow down everything that comes in as long as we can keep them safe from missile fire.
Citizen cavalry!
These guys over here.
We are at your command.
Waiting for the Tarentine cavalry to come at me.
At the ready! At speed!
AI may go for the capture point. They tend to prioritize them pretty high, but for the moment they're busy suiciding cavalry into my pikemen, which is totally acceptable to me.
Our general is under attack.
Slingers repositioning needlessly.
Up! Quick march! Advance at
Alright, I've opened fire on the Tarentine cavalry. There's a whole bunch of javelin men coming in as well. It's not great for me. This is where archers would be substantially more helpful. My general is just gonna eat javelins. Very little I can do about it at the moment. Turning fire, but it's gonna take a very long time before I can deal with all those javelins. I was kind of hoping the AI would be... oh my gosh, they've already killed a ton of the men in my general's unit. Yikes, I've already got 70 casualties.
We await your orders.
This is not great, and if my general dies, it's going to hurt the leadership quite a lot. Gotten some good damage done on the Tarentine cavalry. At least one of them. This is actually kind of good now that they've brought up their own pike unit. I say that, not really. I'm still copping a lot of javelin fire. Kind of hoping that their own units will get in here and kind of clog up the ability for their own missile units to return fire. And then they're holding reserves here, which is actually really bad for me as well. This is not good so far, folks.
At your service!
Not good. I'm probably going to lose my general here. AI always prioritizes your general when it's an option. And in this case, that's going to pay dividends because that was also my strongest infantry unit. Yeah, this probably won't work out. Too many javelins for me to be able to deal with effectively, and I can't deal with them quickly enough. Alright, we got rid of another javelin unit. Let's keep going. Yeah, bringing my cavalry to bear is going to do nothing, because I just don't have... I'd love to use my slingers to try and cut these pikes down a little, but there's more javelin units, and if they come up, it's a real issue. I feel like I have a choice, though. How did that javelinman just stabilize? Come on. Look at this. Units trying to reposition. I don't think we're going to have good line of sight. Gonna lose my general. I've got to throw some extra units over here. My general is wavering. And he just routed. So now we're going to be flanked with our levy pikemen. I would expect us to be getting a few more kills since we're right up on the flank of that pike unit, but it's not dying nearly as quick as I would like. So it looks like we're going to be outlasted here, most likely. Yeah, just my hillmen just aren't getting any damage done against the flank of that pike unit, unfortunately. Hillmen are really bad. And it shows. Another pike unit back here. I better start unloading on them while I still have the opportunity. Please don't reposition. Just throw your rocks. Well, I mean, if nothing else, at least we're going to do some pretty severe damage. And that does look like it's the nothing else. Oh man, we're about to be outflanked by picked hoplites. Yeah, we're screwed. So not gonna work. It was a fun thought, but not gonna work. AI is gonna come forcing its pikes through here everywhere. Well, we caused some damage. Wasn't even really a tremendous amount of damage, but it was some damage.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display. Our men flee the field of battle.
It is a shameful display.
Our men flee the field of battle.
We got the message there, buddy. We got the message. It's a shameful display. Yeah, we did cause them 1,000 losses, but they'll gain it back really quick. I'm not even sure if we took away entire units from them. Possible with the citizen cavalry, but not certain. So, not what I had hoped, unfortunately. But it is what we get. So, Syracuse being annoying. It's about all they're going to accomplish is being annoying. But they will succeed. That goal, that's typical for the AI. They're good at being annoying. They're not good at being effective. Which is probably good for us as players. Or else this game would be considerably harder. Diplomat was wounded and returned it empty-handed. That's funny. Subjugation. Sabotage. Subversion. Alright, we finished some research. I'm gonna switch back over to more civic research. Satrap's Great Palace. Let's get this research done here. We've got a pretty heightened research rate. 240%, so not bad. Boy, we've got a lot of enemies at the gates here. Going to March all the way up here to C-Day and then try and make a crossing. I'm not at war with anybody that's going to be immediately threatening to me. I can go ahead and start recruiting Syrian heavy archers here. I hate to give up gold chevron units, but Syrian heavies are just better units. There they are. So we got Syrian heavy archers. I want 5 of them. Leave me at 16. Cavalry's already set. Place 2 infantry, 2... I think 4 is probably what we need here. Yep, 4 will be good. We're waiting on that final barracks to complete so that we can really go ham on the remainder of Antiochus's army. I don't really want to be sidetracked here, but if I force march, I can get all the way back to Garama and replenish, and then I'll be facing Syracuse. And then on this front, instead of force marching, I'll just go into standard march and stop at the bridge, and then we'll hit Lepsus on the next turn. So now Garama is guarded. And let's do the Sacred Grove. There we go. Spend some money kind of securing Garama. Hate that we're losing turns where I needed that barracks.
It is an honor to serve. Moving out.
I don't know why our movement is so limited here, but I'm going to drop Hannibal off on the next turn and get him into Sicily and let him start fighting.
You can call me Nyx, for the sea and all its pleasures.
Why did you do that?
The gods would not allow it.
There we go. Alright. Whatever. We got it figured out. Let's see. Our dignitary. She's still marching north. Athena's faithful is, like I said, just kind of posted on guard duty. Same thing with Pericles' Pride. Just simply guarding my holdings and dissuading any enemy attacks. It's awesome, we got this guy wounded. We can't send him on any missions, though, unfortunately, but maybe we'll send this guy on a mission. I want to keep sending people over to Pontus, see if we can get lucky and, like, improve our relations with them. Maybe a bad idea in the long run, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, I want the invasion of Sicily to get underway. See what happens here. The sooner we invade Sicily, the sooner we rid Syracuse of their ability to fight. It just makes sense. Must be some kind of Carthaginian breakaway faction. He got killed on his diplomatic mission. That's funny. Recruitment capacity. I don't know if we're gonna use it, but diplomat executed. You know, I'm so sad about him being executed. It really upsets me. It makes me terribly unhappy. Oh, it's so good. How come I can't take any actions against the Greeks? They're wounded, so I can't secure loyalty? That's very strange. Alright, well, whatever. Hey, who's up for a diplomatic mission? What you say? You know, maybe over to Pontus? It's gone really well for the last couple of... Oh, it's worsening my relationship with them. Whoops. That's good stuff. That's good. Listen to Masaba. That's probably pretty dangerous, too. I mean, the thing is if I end up at war with these factions, I don't care. I've got the armies to fight them, so I'm very unconcerned about actually ending up at war. It's actually kind of funny. Alright. What happened to my troops here? I put to sea and sail over to Athens. I'm gonna go ahead and go faster. Need to get to Athens with this army. Got nothing in the vicinity. One more turn till we get our royal barracks here. We can start properly outfitting the rest of the Heralds of Thanos. And with that turn end, we can retake Lepsus. So, well done, Syracuse, well done. Your reign of terror in North Africa was unmatched. If by unmatched, I mean matched and unsuccessful.
At your command.
Alright, so we retook Lepsus. Unfortunately, they ceased the building of our barracks. And put this in, which serves no purpose. Put a fishing dock there. Alright, so the Syracusan army went back north. Can I reach? No, I'm on a forced march. It's like, can we reach Cydamus all in one turn? Unfortunately not. They're going to be taking Desert Attrition, and they're on a forced march, and that's going to leave Cydamus open. Garama is going to be defended fairly well, so not worried about them marching through Garama. They could head towards Thapsus, which would be annoying. Thapsus is not going to have a good garrison. Alright, let's see, where's your army? Alright, Hannibal, let's get ashore. Oh, right into the face of a Roman legion. It's a crappy legion, but it's a legion.
My skills are I cannot and will not.
We got up here.
I seek.
Only 2 settlements on Sicily? CA, please.
Ready for orders.
I'm gonna bring my ships over here. I'm gonna upgrade this to a dry dock. Keep an eye out for enemy ships coming through the vicinity. There we go. Run some upgrades to Carthage. I think it's worth investing in Africa because it's a great tipping off point for invading Italy and Sicily. Let's go ahead and end one more turn here. Hannibal's about to take his first steps in Sicily. He'll need to retake Corsica, Sardinia. I don't know if I'll have him do all of that. We may just have him go straight into Brutium.
Your people.
Numidia wants a trade agreement. That's very welcome. Rather not have wars with these factions, though I kind of expect them at this point. We're so large and powerful that everyone's going to hate us. And then couple that with the difficulty setting, and it's almost a guarantee that we're going to be widely hated, and understandably so. I mean, if you had...
Offer this as a sign of accord reached.
No. Sorry, Syracuse. The time for peace was a long time ago. You could have said, hey, we'd like to become your satrapy and help kill Rome. Then I would have been like, you know what? That sounds like a pretty doable bargain. Yeah, they're going to head to Thapsus. I'm going to send my fleet to Thapsus. Again, the AI is good at being annoying. Not very good at being effective. Our enemy was wounded trying to target Hannibal. That's what he gets. Diplomat has been wounded. We just can't seem to win on the diplomatic thing, but that's okay. Like, I'm kind of okay with it. I'm not really upset. that my diplomat's being wounded because they're part of those other families and I just don't care. Alright, here, let's retake Cydamus. So this is gonna be easy. So Cydamus is retaken. We already have the barracks there. Whoops. Swap that over to a stables. I can't catch the Syracusan army. They won't be able to get back around me to Lepsus either. And then if I block off Thapsus as a viable option for them. And then Hannibal is going to get to ambush. And it's appropriate that we get the ambush. We get to ambush the 5th Legion. Let's go ahead and take care of this. Not going to be much of a fight, but Hannibal getting to ambush the Romans is always a good day. They got some Samnite gladiator mercenaries and Campanian and cavalry. Okay. Let's see here.
At your service.
We'll just put hoplites on one side and other infantry here. I'm going to leave one Ozet Knight on both sides to help against that Campanian cavalry, because that is a seriously threatening unit. Put Hannibal back here. Levies, we do have to be very careful of those levies. With Hannibal, and then just do this. Hannibal can help protect the archers. He is like 80 years old almost, so we should probably take it easy on the man.
At speed. Pike infantry at your command.
I got a fair number of javelins off into the Campanian cavalry. Let's send some reinforcements to help. Let's hit the levies.
Orders. We await your command.
Ready. Ready and waiting.
Pikeman! Swords!
Alright, so we are engaged. Really want to send my elephants down here, but I have to be very careful of all these levies.
Thorax pikeman!
Pikes ready. Your orders. Double
Orders. Yours to command. Pikeman! Your orders. What are you?
Here's a willing target.
Thorax pikeman!
Oh, whoops, forgot about my Hellenic cataphracts. They got charged by mercenary gladiators,
Our general is under attack.
but they don't seem to be doing so well.
Pikeman! Armored elephant!
Right, we destroyed those Giles. I love how the gladiators totally got a charge off on me and still lost massively. Like I wasn't even paying attention. Look at how strong those Campanian cavalry are. Told you guys those dudes were tanks.
Pikeman! Pikeman! Your orders? Armored elephant! Armored elephant! We are at your command.
I'm gonna pursue them for just a minute while my archers get a salvo off.
Engage! At the ready!
Don't like taking javelin volleys. Alright,
Armored elephant!
defeated the gladiators. Got rid of all the levies, and the Roman leader is trapped here between my thorax swords and my sarissas. So that is going to be a decisive victory for Hannibal. Main damage we took there was to one of our Thurio spears at the hands of that Campanian cavalry, which I expected to be a tough as nails unit. And indeed it was. Indeed it was. Let's ransom the captives, get the extra cash. Can I upgrade? Oh, we did upgrade all these units. Okay, good. Let's go take Lily Bayum. There'll be very little to stop us from doing so. So Hannibal, not only retaking Carthage, but retaking Sicily in the name of his former motherland. Well, I guess kind of, in the names of his new masters, but in revenge for his former motherland. Wow, a tier 5? That is obscene. I mean, heck, we might as well build that. That's kind of cool. We're already losing the food over it. It doesn't increase food loss. That's kind of neat. Let's build that just for fun. I think I'm gonna swap this over to a trading port. There we go. And then probably put in some agriculture there. All right. Things are looking good. This is going to be a great place to end the episode. Our income is increasing. We've got the Royal Barracks finished over here, so we can begin the process of properly kitting out this army. So we do have access to shield bearers. Unfortunately, shield bearers don't come with the highest damage hoplite spear, which is... I don't understand why all the elite hoplites... Like, there's a spear, I think, that does 30 weapon damage, or 31. I can't remember. I think all of the elite hoplites should have come with it. It's really unfortunate that they didn't. But at the same time, they're still pretty solid units. It's just that spear has higher AP and does help your unit cut through a lot faster. So I'm going to replace my mercenary veteran hoplites with some shield bearers. And then we now have access to silver shield swordsmen and royal peltist. The question is, which do we wish to use? So silver shield swordsmen have better damage than both thorax and royal peltist. Thorax swords have 34, royal peltist at 36. Silver shield swordsmen have 40 damage. They do more damage, and they have tankier stats in terms of armor than, say, the royal peltist. They have quite a bit higher melee defense and the same armor, but they also have more health. So they're a tankier unit with slower attack, but more damage. And I'm kind of thinking that they will be better suited against the Romans than the royal peltist. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some silver shield swords. And I need to get rid of these mercenary veteran hoplites because they're going to be replaced with the shield bearers. They serve their job extremely well. And we also need to get rid of our thorax pikes because we're going to replace them with silver shield pikemen. Gonna get the best of the best here. Alright. 2, 3, 4. Then we're out of money for this turn. So that'll be good. We're gonna pick up some money on this turn in. We're gonna pick up some key troops for this army. We'll still have to do a little bit more recruiting. Like, I'm thinking one more silver shield pike. That put us at 18 units in total. The cavalry component of this army is fine. The archery component is fine. So I'll probably just add more silver shield swordsmen, because we're going to want some really sturdy, heavy melee infantry marching over to Rome. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the episode. HeirofCarthage is signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in the Seleucid campaign. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, make sure and take the time to go hit that like button and get down there in the comments to help support. Appreciate all the support you've given me. HeirofCarthage signing out.